Welcome back to the channel, folks. Mr. H here for a news flash and full spoilers as well, just to let you all know. This is the It Chapter 2 CinemaCon footage that was shown last night or yesterday at the Warner Bros. CinemaCon panel in Las Vegas. Now, at the start of this whole presentation, we had Andy Muschietti coming on and saying that apparently the attendees were going to crap themselves. Obviously, reference to how scary the footage was, or how good the footage was. Now, it basically just showed an extended scene. But again, full spoilers. We're going to get into the scene now because there are some bits and pieces which it'll just reveal a whole scene essentially for the movie. But it's showing Jessica Chastain as the grown-up Beverly Marsh. She returns to the apartment in Derry where we saw her living with her abusive father in the original movie. From here, we see Beverly knocking on the apartment door. But rather than her father opening the door, it's an elderly woman who Beverly has absolutely no idea who it is. And the elderly woman obviously looks at Beverly and says, "Dear, it's not for me to tell you this, but your father has passed away." The old lady then invites Beverly in for a drink, asking her if the apartment building is essentially what she remembers. Bev replies, "Yeah, it's much cleaner though." And the old lady then heads into the kitchen to go and make some tea for them both. Beverly naturally would, wander around the apartment taking a look at some bits and pieces here and there. She finds, oddly enough, a blood-covered letter that apparently leads her to a flashback, allegedly to a happy memory, which is interesting how a blood-covered letter would do that. But anyway, the old lady then brings the tea out and puts on some music. Now this is where it gets interesting. So Bev is looking at a window, notices a bunch of bugs gathering there, and the old lady apologizes for the rate of the heat, saying, "Look, it's that time of the year." Then interestingly enough, the woman then utters quite a strange statement, and this is where we can kind of start to see that something's not right with this woman, obviously. And she says, "No one who dies in Derry ever really dies." Beverly is obviously quite confused by this statement, but doesn't really think, an awful lot about it. As we see, the old woman then stares off and wears the all too familiar, creepy Pennywise smile. Obviously, the old woman is just Pennywise, in disguise, or maybe being possessed by some form or another by the evil that is in Derry from Pennywise. The woman then asks Bev how it is, to be back in Derry. Bev says it's strange. The woman asks her how so, but the conversation is interrupted by an oven in the kitchen, and the old woman goes and makes some cookies, basically, and insists Beverly stays and has one. The woman goes to get the cookies, and Beverly is looking at some portraits on the wall. There's one in particular which is of the woman's parents. The old lady tells Bev that her father joined the circus, which is, again, one of those kind of creepy statements, I guess. Bev looks around at some of the old pictures, and the woman in the background begins to kind of snap out of it, in terms of being an elderly woman, and starts to display a supernatural level of speed. And again, just showing how that this is Pennywise or some form of evil. And the old woman creeps up behind Bev, looks at what she's doing, speeds off back into the kitchen. Bev takes a note of another picture that the old lady's father is in the circus. The woman again appears in the background, moving again with that insane speed. And the woman then tells Bev she was always Daddy's little girl, and asks her guest, what about you? Are you still Daddy's little girl? Beverly. And again, this is all of that kind of really creepy, almost disgusting level of reference to how Bev was abused by her dad, and that statement that her dad was saying in the first film. And that's it, basically. That's it. The lady finishes with charging in, making, quite an alarming sound. And there we go. We don't know what happens to Bev, but I would imagine she either, beats Pennywise or goes down into the lair of Pennywise. We don't know. But then it just goes into a sizzle reel showing various versions of the Losers Club, adult and young. And that's it. This, to me, would indicate that we're going to be getting a trailer soon. But what do you think of this? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. As always, if you're new here, hit subscribe, and to stay up to date on the world of pop culture and movie news, crush that bell notification icon. Thank you so much for watching. I've Mr. H. Take care.